Between client meetings, managing your business, and everyday tasks, who has time to worry about website hosting? With Kinsta's managed WordPress hosting, you don't have to. They handle the technical stuff, delivering lightning-fast load times, enterprise-grade security, and 24/7 365 human-only support. Simply switching to Kinsta could make your site up to 200% faster. Kinsta's custom dashboard makes managing sites easy, with powerful features designed to save you time and effort. Plus, their free expert-led migrations ensure a smooth transition. Ready to see why Kinsta is trusted by thousands of businesses? Get your first month free at kinsta.com. That's KINSTA.com. Kinsta. Simply better hosting.
Yeah, sure thing.
Hey, you sold that car yet?
Yeah, sold it to Carvana.
Oh, I thought you were selling to that guy.
The guy who wanted to pay me in foreign currency, no interest, over 36 months? Yeah, no. Carvana gave me an offer in minutes, picked it up, and paid me on the spot. It was so convenient.
Just like that.
Yep.
No hassle.
None.
That is super convenient.
Sell your car to Carvana and swap hassle for convenience. Pickup fees may apply.
Welcome to Tunnel Talk, a no facts, all feelings wrestling podcast on the Social Suplex Network. I'm Allie.
I'm Ann.
I'm Leah.
How are my beautiful girls this week?
Living the dream.
Living the dream.
Listen, I'm not going to repeat it here, but I'll tell you that I gave a very lengthy medical Patreon update to my friends.
It was thrilling.
Spellbound friends.
They technically consented.
We did ahead of time. Yeah, we were asked for consent.
And then I think I gave like post consent too, where it was like, "Thank you for telling me that." I needed that medical Patreon update. I think medical Patreon updates are kind of like what keep friendships strong and healthy.
Mm-hmm. We gotta know how those bods are doing. You know,
absolutely. And you didn't give a medical Patreon. Actually, you did give a medical Patreon update. Okay, well, we won't talk about that
tonight?
The light one from last week, I believe.
Oh.
And I got an update from you during the week. You're not sleeping well.
It's true. That's true. Daylight savings has done a number on me. It's not a good situation. So you can see me posting all hours of the night.
Mm-hmm. I did not. I was disturbed when I saw a little 3 a.m. post from you somewhere, and that's not typical behavior.
It's not typical. That was the dog had woken me up, so it wasn't just me. But usually I don't decide to get on the old internet and see what's up while I'm waiting for her to pee outside, but
no, it's not what we're used to from you.
Here's my opinion about what's going on at the title scene. 3 a.m.
It's like, up and
I had
about
to make a little
at 3
joke.
a.m. Yikes.
I just had to make a Danielson joke. It was very important to me at 4:30 in the morning.
When you get your jokes out, I mean, it was a good joke. You needed to get that off.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
I don't remember. I remember liking it, but I don't remember it in this moment.
It really wasn't that exciting.
Save it for the medical Patreon.
That's right.
Well, I think we do have just one little light bit of business that we're going to get out of the way up front tonight before we launch into a really long schedule. It's kind of a jam-packed week. We are porting you guys don't really need to know this except for something that will be relevant in a moment, okay? But you, our listeners, I'm telling you, we're porting our feed over to a new provider.
Host.
A new host. And we are going to start having very light ads on the pod, on our stream.
Yeah. If you've been listening on the Social Suplex feed, you've heard ads all along, but now our individual feed are going to have ads. But rest assured, any profits that we earn from this are going into a t-shirt bank for us to commission more deranged t-shirts.
Our only interest in earning money is being able to pay talented artists to make really fucked up t-shirts for us. So hopefully it won't be too disturbing. I don't know if you'll be hearing them on this episode or the next episode, at some point you'll start hearing ads, not too many, very light, and just let us know if it's a problem. Hey,
don't be scared.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
And if you're listening on like one of the weird ones, like Podcast Freak or whatever those apps are, and you notice a difference, like something didn't port over right, tell us, because
Very true.
We want this to be a seamless experience for you, our valued listeners. So, wow, that was real corporate. Okay. That's all. That's all our business. And should we just get down to brass tacks here, girlies?
I thought you were going to be like, well, that's all. End of podcast.
We were worried we were going to go long, but rest assured, in and out.
Once
baby.
I've told them there's going to be ads, I'm like, you know what? Actually, shut it down. Shut it down. It's over.
Allie, our most anti-ad. I mean, none of us are very pro-ad, but
no, but I am often like, I'm like, I don't think we should ever make money. I think it's wrong to make money.
Don't worry, we're still pretty deeply in the hole overall.
Yeah.
I would say so.
The day that this stops being our vanity podcast is the day I die.
That's when our opinions get fucked up, right? Like once you're like, oh, I need that sweet, sweet ad paycheck, then you find yourself saying things like Roman Reigns by The Rock.
That's literally right, though. It's like the second that you're doing it for a paycheck and you care about getting the money, your opinions start being, genuinely and troublingly impacted.
Right.
Or you feel like you have to say certain things.
Right. Where are my people going so that I may lead them,
Yeah. But that's not us.
No.
We want to keep saying just some weeks you'll be like, wow, that was so smart. And then the next week you're like, these are the dumbest girls in the world? Question mark.
Like, not on the same page. Yeah, you won't find us worried about getting the Young Bucks back on here for the hits. It's not. No. You won't see our opinions. Our pro Young Buck opinions are genuine.
No, of course,
not
we're
for
like,
the cash.
He's a beautiful cow. Would I say that if I was trying to get him back? No, but I have to tell my truth that he is the most beautiful slab of beef, marbled beef.
So every Friday morning you can message and be like, hey, could you listen back to the part where I called him a cow? Because I'm a little worried it sounded insulting. If we need to cut it, we can cut it.
And then I'm coming in hot where I'm like, we can never change the things we say because we think that like a wrestler may someday know about them.
It's called integrity.
We have a lot of it. A little too much, some might say.
Awfully Waffly tweeted the other day and was like, sometimes I get startled that people can hear things I say on my podcast. And I was like, yeah, I've had 5 years of that where I'm like, somebody will be like, it's so funny when you said this. And I'm like, how do you know? Were you in the room with me? No, I published it.
Oh my God. We do this voluntarily. Okay, guys, enough bitter chatter. That's enough of that. Let's get down to brass tacks. That's the second time I've said that. I think this is going to go well. I'm on vacation. Okay. Swerve and Ricochet. Oh, we had Revolution. Everyone have a nice time? I had a great time. Great pay-per-view.
It was a really fabulous pay-per-view. Don't you kind of feel like the best ones are the ones where there's like 5 matches where they should have died?
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. They just go harder and harder. I was rewatching some tonight and noticed that someone in the crowd just had like a 3-year-old that they were holding up so he could see, like pretty close to the ring, and there was so much blood everywhere. And I was just like, I mean, I don't want to police anyone's parenting, but
that's gonna make you weird in your brain.
But maybe in a cool way,
Maybe in a cool way. And maybe they told him it was ketchup, because I was listening to Bryan Danielson on his wife's podcast the other day about his retirement match, and creative problems aside, it was cute to hear they told their kids that it was ketchup. So
that's fun. I love thinking about Bryan Danielson being like, daddy's just absolutely fucking covered in ketchup. for fun everywhere. Just for fun.
Yeah, they're just having a good time. Apparently Nigel flew his 6-year-old daughter out for his match with Danielson, and so ahead of the match he was like, oh, can I introduce her to you so she knows we're not really mad at each other and we're friends? And apparently they were both like, oh, that's a great idea. We probably should have done that. And Brie Danielson was like, Brie Bella was like, yeah, as workers, we did a great job because we got really genuine reactions, but as parents, maybe not amazing.
Why were we talking about that? Oh,
Revolution. How did we
really
like
good.
Revolution? Yeah.
Revolution
It was great
pay-per-view.
because people looked like they were going to die. Yeah.
Tons of blood, totally rocked. Swerve and Ricochet had their big blow-off match at the pay-per-view. It totally fucked. Did everyone love it? I know you did.
It did, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was I can't believe how much I enjoyed this feud. Like, I think all of them, this was my favorite of their matches, but like they were all good. Like, it's not like it was a strong favorite. Like, they were all have been great matches.
Yeah.
I feel so I just feel so pleased to be like, when you started the feud, I didn't know anything about you two as, in relation to each other. I had no idea whether it would be about something. And then you did just make it about something that was really interesting, and you brought interesting stuff out of each other, and you did a good job. And Ricochet, I had to watch everyone complain about how you can't talk. And then you were like, no, I can talk. And then everybody was like, well, now he's talking so much that he can't wrestle and the way I want him to. And it's like, yeah, he can still wrestle. He wrestled great. He talked great. You did great. Great job, boys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You start to think that some of these podcasters are looking for things to complain about.
I wonder if that's because they have a financial stake in the game.
On this podcast, where we go into debt to say these things, we can simply be like, had a ton of fun.
I think we're in the black, actually.
We're in the black since
For now.
January of 2024, not including previous.
I love, though, that it's like the reason that we're in the hole is that I'm like, there's some tools that we have to pay for because I need them. I need my tools.
No, I think we don't have to get into this now.
Yeah.
You have the podcast.
Yeah,
behind
you have to. Yeah.
I have your sword, your axe, and your Glock. Okay, so the big emotional crux of the Swerve Ricochet match was that Ricochet came out in Prince Nana's robe, which he had not, unfortunately, turned into a bra and panties set or a little
was
jacket or
Really
anything.
so disappointing.
That was the one piece of criticism I had, that I'm like, you had 2 weeks to do something to that robe. I think it could have been a little bit more creative.
Yeah,
I know, seriously. And that is the problem. It's like they say fantasy book, don't fantasy believe. And I did, unfortunately, do a little fantasy believing about the bra and panty set. And that's on me.
Do you think if he turned it into a bra and panty set, like, I guess what I wanted to see was to have Prince Nana be like, how could he? But then to be like, but it still has meaning to me. and
then he
ceremonially at the end of the night, he puts it on Swerve. He buckles the bra.
If the moment when Swerve jumped on Mox at the end of the pay-per-view, he was wearing the bra.
Oh my God. Imagine how much even more send him home happy we and everyone would have been if Swerve had leaped off that in a Prince Nana's robe, Jimmy Rave robe.
It would be the happiest I ever have been.
Yeah.
Okay. So Prince Nana was ringside during the match, trying to help Swerve. Does one of you know what happened here? The recap said Swerve shoved Nana away. I thought it was a friendly fire situation, but
I thought it was too. I thought
I did too.
I thought he pushed Ricochet into Nana, like in some way he was reaching for Ricochet. And
I think that's right. I'm
that sounds right. Yeah,
throwing out the recap. I think that's right because if we all remembered it, probably it is.
Because Swerve looks like so devastated afterwards. Like he did great face acting of like,
once again,
I've done something horrible.
Once again, I'm so obsessed with the fact that so many relationships on wrestling.com have been disrupted by like, did you mean to hurt me like that? Meanwhile, at least once a match, the Young Bucks kick each other in the face and they're like, no problem, bro. I know what's in your heart.
They don't even stop. Like, they actually, most of the time, don't even have a moment of like, oh, fuck, I kicked you. Sorry about that. It's like, just like, them's the breaks. It happens sometimes. It's a fast-paced environment, and none of us can be too worried about it. I don't know why I did a little dance during that.
I know. I wish the listeners had video of your little like Don't worry about the friendly fire dance.
Maybe the Young Bucks should have a special little dance they do at each other after.
Oh, hula dance!
That's
Every
a free
time
idea.
they accidentally do a friendly fire, they
An
dance
apology
to each other.
dance. It's just the happiness you feel when you're so close to your brother that nothing could hurt that relationship.
Now, in this moment, I feel like I'm like a AEW counselor backstage, and I see tag teams, not the Young Bucks, but other tag teams who are like, well, he hit me during the match, and like that's why I'm mad at him. And I'm just like, do you think that maybe we could find a way to diffuse the tension of those moments when you know that your partner didn't mean to hurt you, but you still feel hurt because he hit you with his body?
The hurt is real, but you need to think, did he mean to do that?
Yeah, we can choose. We can choose what to do with those emotions. Remember, your mind is a pond. The fish come and go. The mind stays clear.
Just
Can
kind of
you
preschool
imagine?
lessons in emotional regulation for wrestlers.
Can you imagine how quickly we would get AEW canceled if it was like every feud happens exactly the way it does? It's just at the end of the promo, we pop up and we go, okay, now what if you could restate that, but using an I statement?
Actually, that would be a great gimmick because that is a person you want to punch in the face. Real bad.
That's so true. That is so true. Wow. Someone has to do that.
Yeah, just doing therapy language on other people all the time.
And if they were always getting into other people's business about it and being like, hey, I noticed that you guys were having kind of a rough time in the ring the other day. And like everyone is always just turning on them like, it's none of your fucking business. You aren't a part of this.
I have a horrible coworker who starts every meeting that she runs with a chart of Snoopy faces, and she makes everyone in the meeting identify which Snoopy face they feel describes their feelings that day. So, you know, if this hypothetical wrestler wants, they could take that and like come out to the ring and be like,
Wow.
Tony
Yeah.
Schiavone, Taz, JR, can I get your Snoopy
Can I
number?
get your Snoopies?
That'd be incredible. And you showed us that Snoopy chart, and there are too many happy Snoopies. It's like there's so many like degrees of happiness, and then it's like at work, like are we really expecting people to?
It would
Katie.
really be like, let me run down some of the Snoopy numbers you're never going to hear from me, okay? We don't need those on the chart anymore.
Yeah, just get them out of there.
I'm in a SharePoint training on Zoom. There's a limit to the Snoopy that you're going to get from me.
Like you're pretty lucky if you get to like mildly contented Snoopy. That would be incredible.
It's like most days at work, I'm a forbidden Snoopy. A Snoopy whose image was never permitted to be published.
One that Charles Schultz never intended to see the light of day.
It's like he drew it while he was in a SharePoint training session. All right. Okay. So anyway, we agree it was friendly fire. Nana was upset. He left in the middle of the match. They keep fighting. And then eventually he returned. He snatched the robe off of Ricochet and he put the robe on, but then Ricochet attacked him and he took the robe back and he put it on. And then Swerve won the match and then he took the robe, I guess, off Ricochet and then he put it on Nana and he said, I love you.
He actually he kneeled down to present it to
God,
him, and
right,
it was
I
so
forgot.
beautiful. It was very
a full
emotional.
my liege moment.
So sweet.
Okay, did Nana leaving kind of get you guys? Like, it got me, but in a way that like I wanted to be gotten. Where I was like, he can't just leave. Swerve didn't mean it. Come back.
I think it worked as intended. For me.
Yeah. Swerve's devastated face really got me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not like that invested in Nana, but like the fact that Swerve obviously like cares really deeply about
Yeah.
Nana was really killing me in this.
I know, it really worked. And yeah, and so they were still friends. Okay. Oh, Leslie Jones in the crowd.
I
What a
saw someone,
Incredible.
I saw someone tweet like a video of her flipping out and being like, this is how you watch a wrestling match. You need to be screaming so loud and sweating so much that someone has to hand you a towel so you can blot your neck.
She was giving 170%. She is the queen of my heart. She's perfect.
I want her every time we come to California. I want her to be there.
I know. Such a cool celebrity to have in the crowd too. It's just like you know,
I mean, the
there's some
ideal
lame
celebrity
ones, but
to have in the
my
crowd.
God. Yeah.
And then, okay. So then Swerve, because he won this match with Ricochet, he has a title shot. Actually, we're going to get into that in the next section. So set that aside. Smash cut. It's the end of Sunday evening. Mox and Cope main evented the pay-per-view, and it was not a very successful match. Let's discuss. What were the vibes?
Slow, boring,
comfortable.
comfortable, polished, mature.
That old shoe.
It was much like the feud itself, the most boring and nonsensical thing I've ever seen.
I think I did say there was like a long period of silence in one of our group chats about it. And I think I did say, I think this match might be pretty bad. It's like never feeling that confident.
I do think I agree with everyone who was like, it wouldn't have been so bad if it wasn't the main event. Like if it was stuck in the middle somewhere, or like, you know, like at the beginning of that 3-match run, I think it would have been fine. Because
if you
it's
put
like,
it like after the Outriders match or the Hurt,
right?
You know, like it's like whatever. Yeah,
it would have been fine. Like, I mean, I wouldn't have necessarily enjoyed it more, but I just feel like everybody would have been mad. Like, we should have ended with Toni.
It would have been
Yeah.
less embarrassing for them, I think. Yeah.
It's unfortunately it is just like absolutely wackadoo to have it's the women's world title. It's one of the hottest emotional feuds you've had in the past year. It genuinely has the build. Mm-hmm. It's the blow off match, and you're planning to end it with a huge banner that says "The End." Like, and that couldn't be the main event. I'm needing us to all have a little sit down and come to Jesus. Like, now.
Yeah.
There were so many factors that would have made it kind of a perfect fit, and it seems like still yet we ended with Mox and Cope doing a really boring match.
You really could not make it clearer that just being a man makes you much more important. And I mean, everything about the promotion and all wrestling promotions really makes that clear.
And all of society. And, All right. Well, the crowd was pretty tired, again, because there had been quite a few banger matches and this wasn't one of them. And so they kind of went on for a while. I've said after a long, not very eventful and depressingly unerotic slut fest, we experienced a series of run-ins. So Yuta came out, and it turned out he had not turned on Mox. They were just joking about that, and so he came out and attacked Cope.
Thank God. I was a little nervous for a minute there.
It is good, but also silly. And then Jay White ran out to help deal with Yuta, but instead he accidentally walloped Cope with the briefcase and then chased Yuta off stage. Accidentally.
He also made the funniest little face. Like it was the most I've ever liked Jay White, because he just went so like frozen in like, did I do that?
Well, and then he cut that promo on Dynamite where he was like, well, we all saw the pay-per-view and everybody's wondering, did I do that on purpose? And definitely not. And it's like, okay, well, the lady protested too much.
He definitely made it sound like he for sure did. Like, it hadn't occurred to me that it was on purpose before that, but yeah.
It's like either you did it on purpose or you didn't, but then afterwards you were like, I think it might be less embarrassing for me if I just pretend it was on purpose.
Just a classic wrestler thing to do. Actually, I worked you that whole time. My divorce was a work for wrestling.
That's another thing that like a wrestler should. In fact, it would have worked so well on BTE if like Jay White had done that, and then Monday's BTE he was like behind the scenes talking to someone and being like, that was so embarrassing. Should I just pretend? Should I just be like, oh, Cope, sorry, I did it on purpose. I was blinded.
She's like, yeah, that'll be cool. Okay, so then he chased Yuta off stage. Then Christian showed up, yanked Cope out of the ring, and abruptly cashed in his contract. Wow, and guys, pour one out for the metal binder box or whatever it was that we never really...
The thing that we were all entranced by. We didn't know that boxes could come like that.
Our favorite piece of office equipment that we didn't understand. R.I.P. So Christian was like, I'm in the match now. And it turned the match into a 3-way. And I didn't think that really made sense, but I was thrilled by it because finally we're watching something happen that's not the slut fest.
Yeah.
And honestly, I am obsessed with this.
I loved it.
I'm so
obsessed with it.
delighted.
Christian's like, yes, now it's a 3-way, and you both are so tired out, and I'm so spry, and I have all the energy in the world. And he hops into the ring, and Mox just gets him in a choke, and he passes out. And it's like, fuck yes. It's fucking great.
This was the greatest comedy ending to like the most sleepy, boring match I've ever seen. I was like I wanted to turn it off before that, and I'm so glad I did it because I would have missed.
It was literally perfect. It woke me up. I was sitting upright in bed going, what the fuck? It was awesome. I feel like people were mad about it and were like, they made Christian look like an idiot. And I was like, good.
Yeah,
he is an idiot. You all should look like idiots for my benefits. What are we doing here?
Sometimes I'm like, I can't speak to what is happening with a lot of these wrestlers behind the scenes. Like, I don't know their hearts. I don't know what they're up to. Like, but one thing, if I just go based on what I see on screen, Christian Cage has no problem looking like a fucking moron, like a dweeb ass moron, and that
kind of his favorite thing to do. Yeah,
complimentary.
Yeah,
I know. Like, has everyone seen his sleeveless turtleneck he's been wearing for 2 years? Like, I don't think he has a problem looking like a geek.
Yeah, like how many weeks ago? Like 3 weeks ago, he was cowering behind Mama Wayne to hide from Samoa Joe. Like, guys, chill out.
And then to come out, not to jump the line here, but then to come out on Dynamite and cut this promo where he's just like absolutely flames at the side of his face, like channeling all of his mortification into righteous fury.
Like just how the camera came up and just his expression was so angry. It was so funny. Like, that man is a comedy genius. Like, no one's doing it like that.
He's so funny. He's so funny. I don't know what to tell you. When he said, I did not tap out or pass out. I was simply regulating my breathing. Oh my God.
I'm hoping that now that like he's cashed in the thing, that people can go back to enjoying him, because people were really mad about him possibly winning the world title. And I don't pretend to have any idea how likely that was. All I know is that I'm a blatant Christian enjoyer, and I really need everyone to get back on that beat.
Seriously. And I'm so sick of everyone being pre-mad. I would like everyone, really in the context other than wrestling, also to say to themselves, I actually don't know the future. I know my anxieties about the future, but I don't know the actual future. So maybe I should calm down a little bit.
I just remembered that almost every week on this podcast, I do accidentally say to you two, I don't know the future. So I'm practicing what you're preaching, Anne.
I appreciate that.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I can't help it. Christian, you're one of the funniest guys. You're so fucking funny, and I'm so glad that you got yourself humiliated. And honestly, like, I guess someone could present me with proof that like he didn't like being humiliated like that. But I'm like, as a best friend haver, if anyone ever said like, I'm gonna need you to come out and get absolutely humiliated for your best friend, I would be like, fuck yeah, reporting for duty. I am here to look like, how dumb do you want me to look? Because I'm prepared to look so fucking dumb for my best friend.
And honestly, also, who came out of this match looking the best of the three of them? In terms of reviews.
Christian is the one that everyone says on everyone. His name is on everyone's lips. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's like, Cope and Mox embarrassed themselves, but Christian kind of pulled it out.
And I never saw this cashing coming in a million years.
No, I did not see it coming, and I fucking loved it.
And it's like in this Dynamite promo, I'm like, we're gonna have to skip it. We're gonna have to skip so much stuff. But it's like in this Dynamite promo, Nick Wayne is being like, you're a fucking loser, and I'm gonna need you to explain why that happened. And it was like, absolutely, he has to explain why that happened. What was your plan, baby? But then it's like, actually, in some ways, his plan was good. He's like, they'll be tired. I'm apparently allowed to do this. I don't think it makes sense that he is allowed, but like the plan makes sense. And then it's just like, oh, you can't wrestle. That's amazing. You can't wrestle good.
Yeah, well, it's because it's like, well, babe, you haven't wrestled in like months, and you like, you know, you got. Like,
maybe you should have done a little training montage before you did this plan.
Yeah,
you know,
montage.
Maybe get a little buff before you do the plan.
A little training montage. Also, like, he and Max Caster were kind of doing similar things where it's like, well, I would have won if it had been fair, which is just like a really funny.
I know, I think it's good. Okay, so we've got to speed up a little bit. It's about to be like in the Hall of the Mountain King in here. Okay, so Mox win. I mean, Mox choked Christian to completion. Thank you, me. And then he still has the belt, and so he screedles out through the crowd with his little briefcase. And Prince Nana is waiting at the entrance to be like, and just as a reminder, Swerve just earned a next shot at your belt. And so Mox was going to look like he was going to maybe start something with Nana, but then the camera pans up and Swerve is crouched over his head, and Swerve jump on him and attack him, and the crowd go wild. And then Swerve is sauntering, and he's wearing this shirt, and red is really his color. The end.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
He looked good.
Yeah. Killer. Everything at the end, like,
great.
Fantastic. Great way to end the show. Very excited and Swerve better win the goddamn title.
I'd really like him to get that title back.
Really
and
I would too, but I'm also kind of like, I've now got the faith in Swerve that I have in Hangman, where I'm like, Swerve's gonna get a really good feud out of
for
Mox,
sure.
So
I'm not
worried
about Swerve.
No, we're gonna have
Mox.
Yeah,
I'm worried about Mox.
me.
He needs it gone. Yeah,
You're worried about Mox. I'm worried about me. I think we just need a bit of a shake up.
Yeah.
Okay. What are we talking about now? Nope, move on. Okay. Then on Dynamite, Jesus, how can we be 30 minutes in? Okay, Dynamite, I guess we found out, no, Allie, that was wrong. That wasn't right. Mox cut a meandering promo about, I guess about how he wanted to have a street fight with Adam Copeland. I don't understand this.
He said, I never make the same mistake twice, so he's going to fight Adam Copeland, who he just had a very badly panned match with again.
But it's like, you won.
Sense.
I know that what Cope says at one point on Dynamite is that he's like, well, he actually didn't even win. And it's like, well, he did. I don't know what you mean. Like,
who has the belt right now, buddy? Did you win? No.
It's like, he did win. And I'm like, Mox, if he is like he's been kind of craven in this role, sometimes not very effectively, but like he has been, he's staying in the crowd. He doesn't want to get beaten up. I'm like, so he voluntarily signs up for round 2 and it's a street fight? I just doubt it very much. I don't think that hangs together. But
yeah.
Whatever. But, whatever.
The promo didn't hang together because all of his analogies were about like, if you do it right the first time, you don't have to do it again. So, which he did because he won.
I will reveal, it's like I did watch that whole promo and I was listening to it and I was typing things like, wow, Mox nonsensical ass promo, one of the best in the biz at it. And then I still had only learned later that that's how we found out that's where the street fight idea came from. I just missed that. Like, he's just talking to talk. You know,
get hypnotized when you hear those rhythms. It's hard to process.
I went down this insane rabbit hole because Mox said, "My dad taught me that you measure twice, cut once," and I forgot that saying is for other things. And I was like, "Wow!" Like Mox's dad taught him to make clothes, and they sewed together. That's so nice. I wonder what clothes they made. I wonder if Mox has ever made gear because that's a sewing phrase. And then I was like, "You idiot! People do cut other things like lumber and shit,
paper.
So probably it's that." I wish you all joined me in the fully 5 minutes that I was just picturing Ricochet's giant dressmaker shears, but between Mox and his dad.
Little teenage Mox sitting down with his papa.
Now remember, Mox, you need to be very careful when you cut your fabric. Yes, Dad, I'll remember this for my wrestling promos way down the line. Right. What's happening here? Okay, so then we got a segment where Swerve and Cope were interacting right after the pay-per-view, and Swerve was like, a year ago I made history by becoming the first Black AEW World Champion. At Dynasty, I'm going to make history again. And Cope said, I don't know if you noticed, but I didn't lose tonight. So there's a chance that by the time Dynasty comes around, you'll be facing me. You did lose. I don't know how much clearer I can make it. You certainly lost. I understand it wasn't it wasn't what you dreamed of. But it is what happened.
If he was doing it the way Christian was doing it, it could be so delightful, but he's not. He's doing it like a boring, non-denial person, and it's stupid.
How is this the first segment of our schedule?
I don't know. I did see, I typically don't really care about this, but I did see someone quote a statistic, and I don't know if it's true, that Cope hasn't lost clean since 2010. And I was like,
that's so embarrassing for you.
That's so embarrassing.
Embarrassing for you.
I was a little bit like, obviously I love the Christian thing. I thought it was perfect. It woke me the fuck up. But if it only existed so that Cope could lose in a non-clean way, I'm like, buddy, you need to go to therapy.
Well, I hope that then I'm like, this street fight better be for you to lose clean.
Yeah.
That better be like, you know what? I can be a man. People are being so mean to me. I can step up and lose clean to you in a street fight.
Best case scenario, both of them have taken a look at their life and their choices, and they've been embarrassed on the internet, and they're going to do it right this time. They're going to have a good match that's enjoyable to watch, and Cope's going to lose clean.
And then Cope is going to assume the position. Back, the shoulders to the mat. Shoulders to the mat, baby. Get pinned. Well, I think we simply must move on. Hangman and MJF opened Revolution. Great match. MJF kicked things off by playing Hangman's face music as a fake out. Hangman moonsaulted 2 times during the match for the first time in approximately a decade. The fans chanted, AE-dub, AE-dub. And that is how I felt in my heart when I saw Hangman do a moonsault, and he just floats. Oh,
I've missed those moonsaults.
The best
They're
in
so
the biz.
beautiful.
So beautiful.
Best in the damn biz. Hangman hit Vice Principal Daniel's finisher, Angel Wing Mommy or something. I don't know. And then
The Angel Wing Mommy. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Hangman hit the Angel Wing Mommy on MJF, and then he did this cute little, I don't know, it was really powerful, little gymnastics flip back over the ropes, and then he buckshotted MJF for a clean win. Boom, baby.
Hey, Cope, look who can put over people clean, apparently.
Yeah.
And it's like to get shown up by MJF in that respect. My goodness.
Right. Embarrassing for you.
When MJF is like, please have some dignity.
But you know what? I like to see. That's a behavior I like to see.
Yeah.
Let's get MJF. You've been amazing this month. We're proud of you.
Who gets the
boy.
Mommy's Little Cooperator Award?
Someone really helped with classroom cleanup this week.
Oh my God, should we get a star chart?
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. Let's make a star chart with special wrestling things that people get awards for.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so Hangman, new look, gear and hair, go.
I'm so happy that we're done with the Guy Fieri pants.
You needed it gone. They
I
were
needed.
not
I
meant
like.
for you.
Of course, I love Hangman, and he never really could do wrong. But I just kept. I'd be thirsty for him, and then get interrupted. Where I'm like, I fucking hate those pants. So I'm so happy, and
The new pants
love
look
the new
great.
pants.
Yeah.
The smoke curling down to the fire at his ankles, like that. That is using fashion as art.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Hair.
Totally. I think I am in the minority because I am not like in love with the hair. I like that he changed it, but I'm kind of on the fence about how I personally feel about it.
I like the angelic curls.
I like the angelic curls. The thing is, as someone who did just get a haircut for the first time in a year, and every day I've gone back and forth, like, this is the worst haircut I've ever gotten. This is the best haircut I've ever gotten. I just have to say, a curly haircut, you do have to grow into it. You know, it's like, it is what it is. When you get it at first, it is going to look like bad. It is. And I didn't think it looked bad, but it's going to look like not natural in a certain way, which I think is the one thing that I was getting from the shortness was a little bit like, oh, it did just get cut. Yeah. But I like the shortness because he has, we got into a discussion about this on one of our platforms today, or I mean, we didn't, but I observed it and was like, that's correct. He has fine curls. And they're very easily weighed down. So when it's longer and he's greasing it on purpose, like they look less curly. And then when he washes his hair because he's trying to do self-care and he gets a little cut, they spring up and they're really beautiful. And he's being a cherub. And, I don't want to go too far out on a limb here, but I wonder if there's something about like the imagery of just like looking like you have a little golden halo that maybe like speaks to stuff that's going on with his character right now, change-wise.
Allie, that can't be right, because a male podcaster today said that Hangman never consults his character when he makes changes in his appearance.
Oh my God. Wow, I must be wrong then. Well, I guess I must be fucking wrong. I don't. This whole thing. It was just so funny to me because it's just like, well, this is a pretty basic beat. It's like when he was really mad, he was greasy and his hair looked really lank, and it was the hair. The hair is what's inside. The hair is what's inside the man. You said
that sounds the man. You so gross. Where's the hair?
The worst thing that you have ever said to us.
The hair is what's inside the man.
I think you're trying to get at like the hair is a window to the soul.
The hair expresses the interiority of the. It's like when I say like a plant is only as healthy as its owner. When my plants are dying, like the hair is only as healthy as its owner.
That's a better way to say it.
Yeah, that was normal.
You don't want to stick with the hair. It's what's inside.
I didn't like it at all.
No, I didn't.
Especially after the talk about how greasy and lank it was.
Anyway. Oh no, we have to move on. In the Hall of the Mountain King. Faster. Jesus Christ. Leah, you want to hit us with your thoughts on MJF's overacting?
Okay, I thought that this was a really good stew. I thought they both put in the work. It was fantastic. I would have enjoyed. What was he even yelling? I wish I was.
It was like, why are you and not me?
Why you not me? He should have yelled that one time, and I would have very much enjoyed it. In fact, he shouldn't have yelled it. He should have just barely said it loud enough for the mic to pick up, and it would have been chills on my back perfect. Instead, he shrieked it 8 times in ever increasing volumes. And I said, sir, you are over egging this pudding.
Yeah, I'm sure he was worried that the mics hadn't picked it up, but it was like, oh my God, you have to stop it. And I don't think I even would have liked it if he'd done it once, because it didn't feel very earned in the moment. Like, I feel like there are certain ways the match could have gone, or the crowd could have been acting, that would have made it feel a little more organic to me, but it all just felt like a put on kind of.
He should have timed it so that it was like right after Hangman did a fucking killer move. Like, maybe have the first time that he did the buckshot, just follow up with that. That would have been like a really. And
I think if you'd seen him like trying to get the crowd on board, and then Hangman like effortlessly getting the crowd on board, like I think something like that could have also made it feel like more in the moment and more genuine. Whereas this felt like, okay, MGF, like you're trying to hit a predetermined story beat and you're really hamming it up about it. Not complimentary.
I think if he did it one time, it would have been like a B+. Like, like I would have been like, I see what you're trying to do in there. You get points for effort. You're trying to do something that other of your peers are not even bothering to try to do. But the 8 times.
It was so much. Yeah. I think also he could have sort of conveyed it with his face without even having, like, I don't know.
Easy to say, Anne, but could he have? Not.
Right. Hangman could have said it with his face.
Hangman says it with his. Yeah, Hangman says everything with his face. Well, I want to tie this to the backstage thing with MJF and Hangman. So let's just quickly say that on Dynamite, MJF did have like an in-ring promo where he came out and was like, "I have a headache," and I was like, "Fuck yes, I need more men coming out and just saying I have a fucking tension headache, I have a splitting headache, I have a migraine right now. I don't want to be doing this." And then so he was just complaining, and then MVP came out and was like, "Seems like," he said, "How come you're not hurting people?" And they got into a whole thing, and basically he was like, MJF, I don't know, maybe you want to be allied with the hurt people, and maybe that'll happen, and we can't talk about it right now because we've got to jump to MJF and Hangman intersected backstage later in the show, and Hangman said, Max, last week you tried to light me on fire. I don't believe you. When you do something like that, you have to really mean it. Sunday, you let the mask slip, and I was right. You care what these people think about you. And then MJF responded, and he said a whole thing. I love that Hangman said, you tried to light me on fire. I don't believe you. Mm-hmm. Because I've been really obsessed, actually, with MJF in this feud, copying things that other people have done that are like, that were effective when they were done in a moment of pure rage. But he is like thinking it through ahead of time and copying them, and it doesn't have the same effect because he did it with the Hangman music too. Mm-hmm. Was also like, oh, that was something that somebody else did to get a rise out of someone, and it really worked. And I don't know. I just think like it is exactly right for MJF to be doing that kind of thing, and it's great for Hangman to call it out and be like, you're not real, which is kind of the thing that was going on with the yelling, which was that he was like performing a certain kind of, I don't know like what the character, if the character really meant that or if the character knew that he was performing that, but I like the idea that the character was like, I'm going to perform this emotion, but I'm not really feeling it.
Yeah.
Or like in the way that I want to, because I don't know, I have a block. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's very relatable in some ways to constantly be, I think we all certainly have had times like this where you're like, here's the feeling I know I'm supposed to be feeling here, and I'll just fake it until I make it. But MJF's entire life has kind of been like that to different extents.
Right. And it's like, even when he is having the real feeling, he can't express it in the way that, like, I don't know, because I think, like, he was shouting, like, why you, not me? And I'm like, I think you just want to, like somewhere inside you, there's a little boy who just wants to lie down and cry that. Yeah, and just be like, I don't know, I know and like me, and I don't even like myself.
Yeah, right.
But you can't do that. So you're performing, like, this, like, really angry version of it.
Right.
It's also like, it's really horny for Hangman to be like, you didn't mean it, where it's like, me and Swerve had like a real passion for one another that we did really mean, and you are trying to like manufacture a genuine thing, which also would be sort of an interesting direction for them to go, where it's like, MJF, you and I, like, we're not nemesis. You're not that important to me comparatively, which I don't know that they're ready to, have Hangman talking explicitly about Swerve. Like, I don't know that they should do that, but I think it'd be interesting if MJF was like a little bit, like, even jealous of other people's feuds, I think.
It is, I totally agree. And it is just great characterization for MJF to be like kind of obsessed with the drama of like, you and Swerve like pushed each other off a cliff, and he's like, he's a theater boy. He's like reenacting what it would be like to be so mad that you push someone off a cliff. And Hangman's like, we're on a stage. We're not on a cliff. Like, if you want to like experience the feeling of like actually shoving someone off a cliff, like you have to go to a cliff, and you have to let yourself feel like you're gonna die for real. Like, you're on a stage right now. You know you're not gonna die.
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna stop you before you light Hangman on fire.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Okay, that's great. We must move on. My God. All right. Toni Storm and Mariah May fought for their Hollywood ending at Revolution and went absolutely tits to the wall buck wild about it. There were steel steps, steel chains, steel chairs, champagne, sugar glass, and crimson masks. The match went all over the place, ended up in front of the tunnels with a big The End sign above them. Toni was battering Mariah with the high heel that has recurred throughout the feud. And then she code zeroed her through a table that was the Hollywood sign, I believe, for the win. And then they had the classic post brawl, like street fight style match scene where they're like just cuddling together, which is happens in like every match. It's a great, recurring image of wrestling. In this case, Toni had a moment where she like raised herself up and looked down at Mariah, and the character of Toni like clearly was like, I have defeated you. We have hurt each other so badly, and now I am holding you, and then went back to holding her, which was, why she is really, really, really good. That was so smart.
Mm-hmm. It was such a move of like, in wrestling, like the most intimate and almost loving thing you can do is to totally destroy someone with violence, you know, where it's like, ooh, this is messed up but rich.
Mm-hmm.
Can I tell you that I was trying to explain some stuff about wrestling to my mother today, and at one point, and she wasn't that interested in it, to be honest, but she was kind of like, for once, she was kind of humoring me and letting me talk about it. And so I was saying something about like, oh, and then if you win a match, and she goes, but I guess you never really win. And I was like, she was like, you never win for good. And I was like, whoa, Mom, you're not wrong about that. It's just like, that's profound, but but she's just like not even really there. She's like, I'd love to go back to my book. Well, I guess you never win for good. Yeah, it was a great ending.
Yeah. It was really, really good. I thought that this match was like, I liked their other matches and I thought they were like really good. But in this one, I just felt like all of the feelings and agony just got turned up, and it was so visceral. Like, that they both, like, their faces were like so intense, and like everything they were doing, where they were just kept throwing themselves at each other in this way that was like, you really did feel like their lives were on the line. You know what I mean? Like, they were like, one of us is not coming out of this alive. You know what I mean? Like, it was just, I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah. And they, like, that they both knew, like, we're not going to come out of this, like, I won't come out of this the same person that I went in. Like, I'm ready to be fundamentally changed by what we do to each other here.
Right.
Yeah. And such a great example of, like, the match just being a continuation of the build, like, of all being one thing, where it's like the story is all together and paid off so well. Like, I feel like my expectations were pretty high for this because they're so good and it had been built so well, and it was like they still totally way exceeded them. It was so good.
Yeah. They totally killed it. I mean, it's just like no notes, you know?
My personal main event.
My personal main event. And it's, you know, again, it's like, wow, it's kind of like really written to be the main event. Kind of like would have been made a lot of sense for it to be the main event. So anyway, then on Dynamite, Toni came out for a promo as our retaining women's world champ. She promised a new beginning with the most talented locker room in all of professional wrestling. And she called out, like, she didn't call anybody out, but she was kind of like calling out some like types of wrestlers, I guess. And no?
Well, so she said that forever champ, who is Athena, and the belt collector, who's Mercedes. So, like, it wasn't by name.
That's what I meant. She didn't call out by name, but she did. That's good, but that's good. No, for the forever champ. Okay. And anyway, so she had these kinds of, like, feints at people who presumably she could feud with down the line. Please, my God. And then she invited all of her coworkers to a key party.
I loved that line. I was fucking losing it. Throw all your keys in a bowl. I love you, Toni. I love you.
Let the orgy begin. Incredible.
Anyway, oh God, we have to move on. Okay, so Toni's promo ended with Megan Bayne stomping out unexpectedly and attacking her. And then we ended up seeing Megan Bayne again later in the show because Willow fought Penelope Ford and won. And afterwards, Penelope chaired Willow and was beating up on her. So Chris Statlander is still trying to fix things that went wrong between them because of her actions, ran out for the save. And there was kind of a loaded moment between Chris and Willow where Willow seemed to like not trust her, be like, why are you out here? And Chris was being like, I just want to help you. And then Megan Bain attacked both of them and kind of took them both out. So Megan Bain was really rampaging through the women's division. Thoughts on any of that?
Hello, my name is Jorge Gaviria, and I'm the founder of Hacienda. We partner with farmers in Mexico to bring heirloom corn products to every kitchen. With my Spark Cash Plus card from Capital One, I earn unlimited 2% cash back on every purchase. And it has no preset spending limit, which means my purchasing power adapts to my business needs. My Spark card helps me fulfill my mission of bringing masa to the masses. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms and conditions apply. Find out more at CapitalOne.com/SparkCashPlus.
I wish that Chris and Willow were getting enough time to really tell this story a little better. Like, I think they're doing an okay job of like hitting the beats, but it just feels like it's so like sporadic that I get to see them, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah, for sure. I was a little interested because the intersection of Toni and Megan Bain and then Chris and Megan Bain, I was like, can we get like a Toni, Chris, and like Willow like trios match? Like,
Oh my goodness.
that would be so fun. I would
That'd be
love
so
to
fun.
see what Chris would react to with timeless Toni.
Do we have a third heel to throw in there with Penelope Ford and Megan Bain?
I'm sure you can just like get like, I don't know, Taya.
Like Serena Deeb is a forever heel.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to get
yeah.
Serena Deeb. I'm not
Billie
trying to get Serena Deeb involved.
Yeah, please don't.
I've made a huge mistake.
Oh, what's her face? Deanna Perazzo.
Oh yeah. Okay, Deanna.
that'd be
She,
fun.
she would be a fun third.
Come on over, Deanna. Okay, great. I don't think we have time to talk about what Megan Bain and Penelope Ford do when they're hanging out. So maybe we'll put that in the icebox.
Just sit in silence having their diet Sprays.
Yeah.
Megan Bain does have to either talk or Penelope has to talk for
Someone's got to
her.
talk.
I mean,
There's
we
gotta
don't.
be
We
something.
said it before, and we don't have to get into it now. But I just need to, you know, of course, all of the wrestling bookers who listen to this, you have to make Megan Bain have a personality and a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not gonna. It's insufficient. Do you think I'm right? Doesn't she
Yeah.
give life size sometimes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like she
Absolutely.
really does give like doll come to life sometimes.
Yeah,
She's
absolutely.
got that vacant look in her eyes.
Yeah, and slightly
movements.
Yeah,
motions
slightly
too.
jerky movement.
Yeah.
It's like life size / Buffy bot. You know, something
Oh my
is
God.
not
Yeah,
moving
that's
smoothly.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
She's just powered by AI. Just not.
Okay.
Something's not quite right.
Unfortunately, the comedy gimmick of powered by AI,
That would be.
which
yeah.
is so funny. That should just be at the bottom of the screen. But yeah.
And she just like she tries to give promos that are just slightly off, and you're like,
She's like, as we all know, Jon Moxley has never been world champion. Just like,
that's not right.
Powered by AI. Okay, and then Mercedes and Momo Watanabe also had a match at Revolution, and Mercedes won. And I don't remember if there was a belt on the line, but I kind of assume there was because she has a lot of them. But either way, she still has it, even if whether it was on the line or not. So don't even tell me. And then on Dynamite, Mercedes had a backstage segment where she talked to Billie Starkz, and Billie Starkz was like, "Let's fight," and Mercedes was like, "Yes." And Billie Starkz was wearing a really cute dress.
Dude, that was
so
I know that was a dress that I coveted from the Delia's catalog.
The
Yeah.
second you said Delia's, I was
Perfect.
just like, yep, that's right. And I'm in Delia's right now, and I wish that I were there physically as well. I mean,
I was
what a
immediately
space.
laying on my bed, flipping through the catalog,
Oh my God.
just looking at them and being like, I wonder if I can get my mother to buy any of this.
And the answer was no.
No.
My mother would say things like, we're actually going to the outlets this weekend, so we'll be getting you some great new outfits from Eddie Bauer.
I do really like Billie Starkz. I mean, I'm not an ROH girly, as none of us are.
Unfortunately.
So I've really been limited in how much I've gotten exposed to Billie Starkz, but I'd love to see her fight Mercedes. I'm ready for it.
I'm so psyched. It was so exciting, too, that she and Nick Wayne both got to talk and both did a good job, actually.
I don't know why I thought you were just about to drop the most exciting gossip of my entire life. I thought that I was just so intent on you were like, and Billie Starkz and Nick Wayne are together. And I was like,
can you imagine if I had somehow learned that and then I chose to wait until this moment as an afterthought to drop it?
I would be impressed that you waited until we were live on air to drop that on us. That would be a real strength of character.
I hope Allie doesn't skip this section. I got a big news item coming.
And we are in danger. On that note, we absolutely must move on. Okay, Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher had their big cage match. It was preceded by a totally out-of-control dubstep light show that, to be honest, I loved. I kept thinking, like, why is this happening? But then I was like, I don't know, I'm having a great time. It was just so over the top.
It was kind of like an Ospreay promo in a way. You're like, this doesn't need to happen, but I'm enjoying it.
But God, I hope it never ends. So the men, I thought this was quite fun and cinematic. They came out and climbed up onto the cage and then, symbolically descended into the cage together to fight. I don't know. I thought that was kind of good.
I liked it a lot because the thing is, like, it felt very much like it didn't have the emotional weight of the Toni and Mariah, but it never did. And so they were doing something else where it was like they were competing athletically because they're both being the guy. They're both saying, like, I am better at wrestling than you. So they were like outdoing each other with these insane stunts. They were like, I'm going to do a crazy move. And if it kills you, that's even better.
Yeah.
And to start it on top of the cage too, instead of having that be like the big culmination, it was like, oh God, what's this match gonna be? And then luckily the match lived up to it.
Well, it really was. It was like, drag me to hell. They said, let's we are free now, but we choose to go into the pit and to fight there. I have to say, I really enjoyed this match. I was excited for it ahead of time and then still kept being like, whoa, what the fuck are they doing? So I don't know. Sometimes I do like for it to just be like one-upmanship of like, you're going to progressively just be like, oh shit, like really right now?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's fun.
The only sour note for me is that my beloved Mark Davis is
Mark,
doing the worst job anyone's done.
Mark.
Really incredible.
So excited for you to come back, and nobody's done it worse, little buddy.
It's like comically bad. Like it's like you're like it couldn't be organically be this bad. Like there's something has to be going on here.
Well, our friend Mark Gallup just recently was like, "Is Mark Davis the Winnipeg Jets of this year?" And I was a little bit like, "Well, I think if we find out that that Mark Davis had RFK's brainworms this whole time, and is how we find out." Then maybe, if something comes out that we're like, all of a sudden we're like, oh, this puts this entire situation in another light.
Someone backstage watched this interference and they were like, maybe Mark should get to a doctor. His guts are also trying to climb out of his body.
Oh my God, someone check him for diverticulitis.
Or if he has some kind of benign Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde situation where it's like neither of them is evil, but he's just not the same person all the time. It's like he's coming in and out. I don't know. He came out, he had a bag of bad boy tools. He had a set of bolt cutters and he did, it's my nightmare. For some reason, this time when it was happening, I was viscerally like, if I ever had to do this, I would die instead. He was bolt cuttering the block. I don't know what the lock is. I don't know what the bolt cutters are. I don't know if it's all fake. I don't know if they're real, but I was like, if anyone ever told me to cut something in front of a crowd, it's over for me. I would just be like, I don't think so. That's a lot of pressure.
Of all the things that they do in wrestling, this is the line you're drawing?
Yeah, because it's the one that would be most humiliating to fuck up.
Honestly, that was
feel
kind
oh
of
god,
disappointing that it went well. Because like, remember when they had to open that sharp cage and it was
that
terrible?
all the time.
That was the Winnipeg Jets.
That was the Winnipeg
year.
Jets. Do you think? Can we just start saying the Winnipeg Jets? Like that's the shorthand. It's just
it is, and I think the hockey team is just
thank you, Mark
damage in that.
Oh yeah, it's not. He's gonna get mad at me because he's gonna be like, I said it right and said the Golden Jets, but I'm the one that fucked it up. I knew it was the Golden Jets.
It's funnier to say the Winnipeg Jets. That's just the Winnipeg. I don't
just
know.
saw the Winnipeg Jets do it. Look how their record
I just
is.
Had, free language association in my brain with like I'm so sorry, the Drizzly Shits. Oh my god, that was the Winnipeg Jets. Am I right? The Winnipeg Jets is a time that in the moment, like you don't know you're having the best time of your life.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like it's like it's Brian Danielson giving that I mean it's not Brian but it's when Brian
it's
Danielson
not the
gave
delight,
that speech.
but he made that point.
Exactly.
Yeah. You don't know. You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know the good times when you're in the middle of them.
You don't know what you got till it's gone.
Yeah.
Ain't that the Winnipeg Jets?
We're going to have to get producer Marjorie to tell us if the Winnipeg Jets are any good this year.
Oh, yeah. She'll let us know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Marjorie, just write in.
Yeah, Marjorie, shoot us an email, tunneltalkpod@gmail.com. Let us know how the Winnipeg Jets are doing this year. Okay. Yeah, Mark Davis, I don't know. No one told him what the storyline is, but I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. Okay, Ospreay won the match. We've already discussed the overall vibes effectiveness, both athletically and emotionally. Does one of you want to read Don Callis' line, or would you like me to do it?
He said, "This is professional wrestling, not professional emotions."
And I've said pretzels
Incredible.
is same. Don. Pretzels is same.
Don really never stopped saying classic lines, which I appreciate about him.
You know, when you talk to talk, you're gonna hit some winners. I know that from experience.
And I think you pointed out how he says intestines all the time. Every time he does it, it's so good.
It's amazing, and it is amazing that. I mean, we're about to get to the Kenny section, but it's like during we're not about to get to it because we got to do a little detour, but the amount of times that we hear the word intestines in any given Kenny segment now, my goodness. I know more about that man's... I guess I hear more speculation about that man's digestive system than I do about any other digestive system in the world, including my own.
One of these days, they're going to be out there like, how do we think those BMs are doing now? Pretty good or still pretty bad?
Kenny, is it smooth this week?
Well, he's going to be like, I got my guys out there doing free con. They're weighing them. They're testing them.
Oh my God. The idea of Don Callis deploying the Callis family, like it's like this is Brian Cage and Lance Archer, and their job is to skulk around after Kenny, follow him into the bathroom, and try and like come up over the divider and get a picture of his shits.
So that Don Callis can have some information on how he might do in a match.
Is this a low moment for this podcast?
I'm sure we've done worse.
Not a high.
We probably not a high. Okay. So then on Dynamite, Will Ospreay limped out for an in-ring segment. He had a bandage around his head, but a song in his heart. Tony Schiavone was waiting in the ring to interview him, but he barely managed to ask anything before Ospreay launched into a long explanation of what I've compared here to what a fun day he had at preschool.
I legitimately think Tony was like, and Ospreay, how are you? And he was like, I'll tell you exactly how I am.
I'll tell you, well, Tony, I got a couple things to say to you. We got new crayons today, so let's start there.
I love Kyle Fletcher, the guy we were trying to murder who's been betraying me. He's so great. Nothing better than him.
Wrestlers that there is. He's my best friend. Well, he used to be. He's not anymore. Anyway, then we had recess. I cannot. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I love him.
I know.
I can't.
So
I can't
dumb
help it.
and
I
beautiful.
can't help it.
I am banging a drum that the male podcasters are so intent on Ospreay being, and it's Dave. Dave
Yeah,
is
it's Dave.
They're special
Dave.
little guying Ospreay. But you know what? That's not Osprey's fault. And he
not his
shouldn't
fault.
be punished. We can't have people being like, I hate Ospreay because of what Dave Meltzer says about him. We must stop.
We
It is
have
not
to,
his fault.
we really have to think about him on his own merits as a performer. And Leah, you said something in your notes that you had a framing for this conversation that I think is really good. You said maybe we could talk about how he makes his clumsy storytelling work for him, which is like being like, he's stoopy sweetie, but that's good actually. He's so dumb and he'd say the dumbest things when it's perfect. He's fucking perfect.
Perfect. I tweeted a meme yesterday of John Waters. Sometimes stupid and cute is enough.
I just I can't. I wish I could relive the moment of watching this promo live and like the series of emotions that I had as I was like, what's happening? What are you talking
Just the world's longest story about his wife being mad at him. It was like, Ospreay, you're in the ring right now. Like, you're not backstage with your friends. But
his vibe was that he just sucked all the air out of a helium balloon.
Yeah. And then as I said it, then I was like, oh my God, right. It reminds me of that time that Kyle O'Reilly did the exact same thing where he got too excited in the ring and then got kind of sick and had to put his head between his knees.
He drank too much champagne.
If I could see Kyle O'Reilly and Will Ospreay getting into the state together and both just like too excited to fucking function, that would be really good for me. He just kept talking. It was... I will say for me, it was quite relatable because I often am telling stories and every other line I just go, that's actually not relevant. Like I'll be like, so then I was looking at the Ben and Jerry's. That's actually not relevant. And then I went into the Exxon Mobil like gas station store. That's actually not relevant. Like, cause all I'm trying to say is like, I got a haircut. And somehow like I've gone to all these other places. I just kept saying to him, like, that's not relevant. It's actually not relevant.
And as he wrapped it up, Shivani said, I understand all that. And tried to redirect, which was such a funny energy to bring to it. Just like, oh, okay. We don't have to. We can stop at any time.
I know you had a great day at preschool, but I want to talk to you about what we're going to have for dinner tonight.
I was straight up obsessed with him at one point being like, and my wife was the missus was so mad at me, but don't you worry. I cooked her dinner and then I saw to her. I'm sorry.
He will see to her.
He said one way or another.
Yeah.
That is the funniest way that you can phrase that. It's so funny.
Well, and he kept pausing too, like, and I think the crowd is going to like my body humor. And I was like, they don't understand it really because, like, I think some of this might be a little British. You know, like
I've only heard people say like I saw to her when they meet like a doctor or a vet. You know, what I mean?
Maybe that's what he meant.
My horse was lame, but then
or like the hotel valet, they'll see to your bag.
It's so funny. I love him. Here's the thing. I would have a segment every single week where Tony Schiavone said, hi, Will Ospreay. And Will Ospreay launches into everything that's happened between like that moment and the last time he saw Tony.
The funny thing too is that he came across as so like high on adrenaline post-match, but it was like 3 full days later, you know? Like,
well, and I don't know which one of you it was, but one of you guys had the theory that it was because Kenny had mentioned me by name right before then. And he was like, he still knows my name.
He actually was like really happy.
And he said, friends. My friend Will Ospreay.
My friend Will Ospreay. He said he thought we never would be friends, but then we were friends. We're still friends.
Like then he went and like grabbed just like a big bag of sugar and like just shoved it all down his.
There's just something about it's like he's not doing storytelling. I haven't really seen any of that from him that effective, but the personality that he's bringing to the ring is just like, yeah, I want to watch it. And it's so easy for me to create stories in my mind.
What he's doing is telling a story. Now, is it a story that he is trying to tell? No, it's a story I'm telling. But He gives me all of the tools.
What they really need is like someone to feud with him who can like point him in the right direction and like work with the energy, you know, and just like channel it. I mean, it's like obviously I love everything that's been happening, but it's like I feel like you could really use it to good effect.
Oh, totally.
If you just got somebody who could take him in hand.
I agree. I mean,
see to him. Yeah,
who can see to him. Yeah. I think it's like I'm going to compare Ospreay for me to like just a perfect blue sky, like drifting clouds kind of day where he's the clouds and he's always making a new shape. And I can always see something in it. And it's some wrestlers are a cloud and they're always a cloud-shaped cloud. And I'm like, well, it's a cloud. Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. It's a cartoon cloud. But Will Ospreay, I'm always being like, there's a dragon. There's a magician. There's a sweet little golden retriever boy who doesn't have a single thought in his brain. Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you, sir.
Perfect.
Kenny fought Takeshita at Revolution. What did you guys think about the match?
Takeshita, I'm gonna get fucking killed for this one.
Take her out.
He is one of those wrestlers that objectively I understand that he is a good wrestler, but he has never once made me like feel anything.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to Kenny, who I love very much. I don't know what was going on in that match. I wish I had the words to explain. I wish I could be like the match layout. I don't know. But I just kept looking up and being like, is this still on?
Yeah. I felt like there was so much like Kenny's beat up and his guts hurt, and that section of the match went on for like 20 minutes.
His
it just felt
intestines,
like, okay,
the amount of intestine talk.
I get it.
Woof.
The intestines are bad. And then, I don't know, the comeback wasn't as compelling as other comebacks I've seen. So,
yeah.
Takeshita is the biggest hunk. And I think Shoot is the
really
sweetest
good
boy in the whole world. But he's just never, I don't know. I
thought he was great in the
with him.
Dynamite segment.
With
the
Max
Dynamite
Caster?
segment
Maybe.
was the first time I've ever seen him express an emotion.
Yeah.
And I was very pleased with Max Caster for getting it out of him.
And that's why he's the most useful man on the roster right now.
So useful.
I did forget. I wrote like half of this section and then was like, oh, I didn't even put their match in. I have to put their match in. Otherwise, the rest of the section doesn't make sense. I know that it was technically good and everyone really liked it. And I think that's good. I didn't really get it. But Kenny won. He's the new international champion. He's banging Orange Cassidy's One True Love, the international belt. Kenny opened Dynamite then with a promo in which, again, he acknowledged Will Ospreay's existence as a friend. And as I've said here, in my mind, you could hear the squeal of delight all the way from catering. Kenny also has absolute shit tons of pyro now. What do you think of that?
I love it. It's fun.
It's fire.
I also like a big deal for sure.
I also loved Rich Latta's like reportage that it's so loud backstage. He was
I wouldn't like that.
No.
Too loud.
Pyro is so loud, like in the arena when you're at a live show. It always really startles me.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm having such a I think it's just like it's like stubborn pig bullheadedness where I'm like, he has this big pyro and I'm just like, ugh, it's gross to have pyro now.
Like, so showy.
It's so showy, Kenny.
Tacky new money pyro.
Oh, what are you going to do next? Hop in the Cody Vader? I thought our Young Bucks come up in the Cody Vader, so I shouldn't speak that way. Kenny, I love you. He announced that there's going to be a tournament to decide who will face him at Dynasty. Dynasty is in approximately 2 minutes, I believe. Is that correct? It's like April 4th or something?
Yeah, it's really early.
Yeah.
Why we have them so close together?
I hate it.
Used to. I like that once a quarter schedule we used to have.
Why they do this to us? So the tournament. Oh yeah, and then Kenny left, and the Ops. I guess that's their name now. I don't.
Yeah.
I think I like don't get it. What is that?
It's
what is
like
the
opposition. It's like slang.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So Kenny kind of made eyes at Shibata on his way out. So it suggested a little something.
And I think that match might be fun.
I would be very happy to see it.
I got very like, is Kenny gonna feud with the ops? And then I was like, oh, that's Shibata. That's fine. That's okay. When I thought it was Hook and Samoa Joe, I was like, I don't know about this.
I think I'm feeling a little like, Kenny, get your head in the game. You know, like emotionally, Kenny, get your head in the game.
Yeah.
Kenny?
Do a little story for me, Kenny. That's not only intestine story.
Not only intestine story, and it also, I'm afraid, unfortunately, it's not going to be the same situation for you and Will Ospreay. It can't fully be a Cloud story. Like, Will Ospreay is about to get away with a lot of Cloud stories, and you were kind of getting away with it because you were in his Cloud, but you are your own man now, and I'm afraid you're going to have to tell the story because it's not going to be the same, like, dreamy Cloud watching situation for you. Kenny, my love, I'm going to need you to lock in. Okay, I'm not talking about the moves. You're fine. That's fine. I'm talking about your narrative mind, your mind for psychology. Okay, thank you. Beast Mortos fought new person. Speedball Mike Bailey was the wild card. This is a match for the tournament. God, this is really going really bad. Mike Bailey, I thought had the craziest teeth I'd ever seen, but it was a mouth guard. Thank God.
Thank God. It was a disturbing moment.
God.
You both got very upset by it. You were like, what's happening in his mouth is bad.
Believe I said is a crime against me personally. Like, I was just like, to come out in front of me with veneers like that, like, how dare you? And then when I realized it was a mouth guard, I was like, okay, thank you. I like you. Yeah. Thank God
like,
I couldn't like you.
I think maybe it'd be safer to have like a blue mouth guard, but I mean, okay, better than
I think
the veneers
that would
for
freak
sure.
me out more.
But but you would know it wasn't his teeth.
Yeah.
Anyway, also, Anne, do you want to talk about your foot thing?
No, I don't have a foot thing. I said I like that he's barefoot, and Allie said, "Okay, foot fetishist."
I just said perv.
In a like outdoorsy Karate Kid way, not in a sexual way.
I don't know, Anne. It's hard to tell in this
economy.
How long have we known each other? Imagine we'd be sitting on a foot fetish all this time.
It would be kind of thrilling if you unveiled a new
kink.
I'd be like, wow, you can always learn something new about a friend.
Like, hey guys, I haven't told you this, but what I get up to, you would not guess.
I kind of think I would be almost disappointed because I feel like we've been accused of being foot fetishists for so often that it almost feels like it would be giving in. I'm like, we have to continue. Yeah. We can't give in. You have to do something weird.
Hold the line.
And if I had a secret kink, like foot, it's so basic to be a foot fetishist. Like,
knee fetishes is where it's at.
Knee fetishist is cool. Yeah.
Well, Leah, you were taking fire the other day on the Social Suplex Network Discord for casually.
Somebody said, "Have we ever seen Brian Cage's feet?" Now, I, an intrepid researcher,
and just a denizen of the internet,
exactly.
Yes, I knew where to find that information. I immediately Googled Brian Cage wiki feet,
and I think we should say publicly, everyone on this pod would know where to go.
Yeah.
We know where to go to get that.
Everyone knew about wiki feet.
That's what I'm saying is, can we poll the listeners? Like, we live on the internet, okay? Do you just know about wiki feet, right? Like, we all know about like wiki feet, right? We do.
Chuck Taylor's out there like tweeting about it and stuff. Like, we all know.
Our Social Suplex Network channel was very much like, Leah, why do you know that? Like, why did you have that at your fingertips? And I was like, it's a resource. Like, why do you know about Wikipedia? Like, it's a resource.
I guess I don't think of it as a resource, but I'm just like, that's a freak zone that we're all aware of. Like, it's like we drive past WikiFeet every day on our way to Tumblr. You know, it's just like, oh, that's just WikiFeet. Like,
it's like if you said something about furries and everyone was like, why do you know that? It's like, well, they're just around on the internet. I don't know.
We share a space with them. Like, you know, it's like just polite.
When you're a perv, you're just adjacent to other pervs sometimes.
Like, you're not affiliated with them, but like you understand, like, you know, it's like Yeah, if you go past 48th Street, that's where Wiki Feet lives. I'm not saying that I would go there like for fun, but like then if you need to know about feet,
should we just like bleep this whole section maybe?
Remember when I was like, we're gonna have to go really fast, and then it's like
you're like, let's talk about Wiki Feet and how it's normal that we know about it for 20 minutes.
We've actually been fine this whole time. Okay, so then OC Hechicero was also a match for the tournament, and that closed out the evening, and that had an 8-minute overrun that I really felt like was Toni like turning to us and saying, no one is mad at me, and please stop saying that someone at WBD is mad at me. I can actually have an overrun anytime I want. You girls, stop it. I was relieved, Toni. Calm down. I'm happy you can still have an overrun.
I wanted you to have a positive relationship with them. Don't you worry about that. I did really badly want to go to bed, but sure. No, it's fine.
It's fine. And I guess thank you for putting our special beloved boy in you gave us an overrun, and maybe we did want to go sleepy, but thank you for putting our boy there.
If we had gone to bed, we would have just been lying awake worrying about the relationship with WWBD. So it all works
God, we should have been there for another 15 minutes. Like, they're not going to get another deal. It's over for AEW. Max Caster also came out. Oh my God, this is the last thing final. Okay, and then we'll have thingy, what's it? Oh, Bods.
Bods.
Okay, Max Caster came out and cut an in-ring promo for his best wrestler ever gimmick on Dynamite. I gotta give him, I think, that Mommy's Little Ham award.
Mm-hmm. Killer.
Right?
Yeah. Everything he's doing is so perfect and so functional. It's like he's so funny,
functional,
so beautiful. He's serving such a great purpose. He made Takeshita be emotional for the first time. These guys get to squash him. It's hilarious.
One of the most useful men on the roster right now. Something that if you had told me 6 months ago I'd be saying about Max Caster, I would have said, I wish I could. I love his body, but I'll never say he's one of the most useful men on the roster. Egg on my face.
Mm-hmm.
Just to find this as a way to go, it's like seeing anyone, like just a random jobber get squashed, that's nothing to me. That's boring. We can do without it. Seeing Max Caster get squashed, that's entertainment.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
This week, he was especially cracking me up because Takeshita came out and he was like, you're not here to fight me. You're here to invite me into the Don Callis family, and I accept.
He said, I'm the best wrestler alive. I'd kill you. What are we doing? And then he had
so funny.
And then after he got squashed, he just like fucking booked it out of the vent.
The post venue thing on Twitter was so funny because he was like, you saw I didn't have my shirt off. I wasn't ready. If I had been ready, I would have won. And then he was like, I'm going to continue leaving. And he ran towards the car. And I thought he was going to get in the car, but instead he climbed a fence and ran up a steep hill.
Fucking amazing. I didn't know you could do this kind of work, Max Caster. I've never had a quicker turnaround. I'm not a quicker turnaround because I'm like, I've always, when I've been able to root for you, I've rooted for you. When I haven't been able to root for you, I've just privately thought, God, I wish I could root for him right now. I want to be on your team, but I don't know. I'm really proud of you, and I'm proud of you for just being, I don't know, such an important part of the team right now.
Just pushing everyone's buttons perfectly backstage, like furthering other people's stories, and meanwhile telling his own little story about his bad reaction to his breakup with Bowens. Perfect.
It's so good.
So perfect.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Better.
What did time in at?
You did perfect. It's 86 minutes. I told you 90, so you did amazing.
And you can't say I didn't work for it.
No, you did amazing.
Really moved us through.
Amazing. Okay, Anne, can I kick it to
Hey, now that's a boy that I could get into. Oh God, this is such a good wrestle boy. Perfect boy. Glide, you beautiful boy. Glide, you beautiful boy.
Best Bods in AEW tournament.
Do you have a presentation this week?
Of course I have a presentation this week.
Buddies.
I do my homework every week.
Amazing.
Because obviously I had to source more photos because I've changed the format. So we've got our week 3 Best Bods tournament.
Now, you can cut this, but do we need to disclaimer that all bodies are beautiful? I mean, what are we doing here? We're not rating the bodies. Please don't yell at us. It's on a rating. We're not rating them. We've said a million times that all bodies are beautiful.
Except Brian Cage's.
Except Brian Cage's. We've made it very clear that this is just a subjective experience that we're having of looking at male bodies on our screens. We respect them as people. I don't know what else I can say.
Yeah. And we're here to celebrate the beautiful bodies of AEW, really.
All bodies are good bodies.
All
except
bodies
for Brian
are good
Cage.
bodies, except Brian Cage's
And Brian
body.
Cage, it is still the most important thing. It's just that you love your own body, I guess.
It's true.
And your yummy
and I'm sure
body.
your natural body is. Oh, Leah. No. Why? Oh.
Okay.
All right, so we're on round 2 of our Best Bods tournament. So all of these bodies are really flawless, have made it through such a rigorous process.
Is this the quarterfinals? Is that what this is? Is it quarter and then semi?
Quarter, then semi.
And then finals.
And semi is, quarter, semi, finals. Yeah. Okay. I got it.
So we're going to have 4 matches tonight. So just to give everybody a preview, we've got Swerve versus Will Ospreay. Then we've got Chuck Taylor versus Orange Cassidy. Then Hangman versus Matt Jackson. And then Max Caster versus John Moxley. So it's going to be some difficult choices.
I was traveling today, so I completely forgot to even try and think about what I was going to do on some of these. And I'm pretty scared to get into
sweating.
I don't feel good.
But, it's a matchup of that night. Like when 2 teams play each other, like sometimes either one could win. And that is also the experience happening here. So
these could be lifelong feuds. They could go back and forth a million times, and it would just be different every time, so.
Exactly. And, if you lose this year, you'll get them next year when it's a round robin tournament, and it's going to be pretty serious.
Ooh, wow, that is going to be tough. For the men. I mean, it'll be fun for me.
So we got Swerve, our number 1 seed, versus Will Ospreay, our number 8 seed, which that picture on the right is...
Do you feel like you undercut him a little bit?
I wanted to capture his essence, and I think I did.
You said, I need to get that wonderful thing about Tiggers in there.
That was from his own Instagram, so...
Okay, he chose to represent himself that way. Okay, all right. Whew, okay. Well, who's going to start?
Wow. This is of course, Swerve is unreal. Like, even just looking at him there.
I can't believe those yellow pants. I'm kind of freaking out right now.
Look how thick his thighs are. Like, he just looks so good.
I was very glad that one of those pics had, the black pants just don't highlight them as well as those yellow ones. So.
I mean, they don't.
No, but in the black pants picture, his titties are popping.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Majorly popping.
Really highlighting both of them.
Yeah.
And Mr. Ospreay, he really does. I mean, like, that is a body that will do things. Hey, he'll see you. He'll see you.
Hey, that's a
functioning body.
That's a doctor. Dr. Spachemin.
He does fertility work as well, yeah.
Do you know an old roommate that I once had? The first time she ever got really stoned, we were watching 30 Rock, and she suddenly had a complete paranoid freak out because she thought Dr. Spachemin was like trying to, like, telling her something that was wrong. And she was like, the doctor knows that the weed is hurting my body. And I'm like, it's a sitcom. Like, that's not a real doctor. And she was like, no, that I know that I'm going to die. And the doctor's telling me.
But I'm like, if any TV doctor could look out through his show and see you and tell you were going to die of something weird, it would be Dr. Spachemin.
And actually, 30 Rock does bits fairly regularly where the TV will suddenly say, like, Jack will tell you what to do, and Liz will be like, what?
Yeah. Well, perfect show. So I dunked on you a little for the right hand one, but you're right. You do have to capture that, like, part of the beauty. The wonderful thing about Ospreay is a wonderful thing. Like, it is that bounciness and that just like, wow, where's that body going? Like, so busy. But there's just simply no way that he could win this matchup. No. There's simply no way he could win this matchup.
No.
Seeing them juxtaposed like this, look, they have the same size nipples. That's so nice. They both have nice size nipples.
That is beautiful. They actually, in some ways, they have a similar kind of like build. I liked when they were fighting and they were doing kissing pose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
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 But I agree.
But
yeah, but you're not going to win, Will. But
Swerve's just got a little more thickness in ways that are really nice.
Yeah. He's just, all over perfect.
Yeah.
But thank you both for your bodies.
All right. Our number 4 versus number 5 seed Chuck Taylor versus Orange Cassidy.
Thank you. And this is a great slide.
Thank you so much. I might have spent more time on this slide than any of the other slides. Because the great thing about Chuck Taylor coming up against Orange Cassidy is there's quite a few pictures of them together with their bodies.
Oh my God.
Right
bodies
next
together.
To each other.
Nothing. What's better than a body? 2 bodies together.
So true.
So true.
Many are saying this.
All right.
That hugging one of them isn't really fair because it's obviously a pretty old picture, and I tried to get recent pictures of everybody, but I couldn't help it. It's just too sweet.
Mm-hmm. It's just like it's this. I think this is a beautiful slide because it's kind of nice to see like bodies change and like they can be one way and then they can be another way, and they're beautiful every way they are. We're not rating the bodies.
Again, we're celebrating the bodies, and this slide shows that the bodies love one another, and they're not in competition; they're in cooperation. This is a cooperative
love
art.
one another. That's what you were concerned about. Well, I don't know, girls. Who's going to go first? Someone has to jump in.
Oh God, how do you even get into this though? I don't know. Like, okay, we have to restate some parameters.
Okay. Yeah.
This body bracket.
Yeah.
Again, it's not about rating, but it's about what
they're all
body.
10s. Okay, they're all
They're all
10s.
10s.
Can anyone tell that we
10s.
got one negative comment and we're really losing?
Really going through it?
Well, I'm just like, listen, I don't want you to feel bad. It's like, just be cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead, Leah.
If it is about what you personally like in a body for yourself,
it is.
Then I have to go with Chuck Taylor.
Of course, I'm going to go with Chuck Taylor. I'm like,
real if I speak energy.
Listen. Tall body. Big, tall. Be my boyfriend body.
Yeah. Bedroom body, as someone
bedroom
recently
body
said.
Orange Cassidy, you work on your body and it looks amazing. It's just an amazing work of art of a body that
to be looked at.
I don't want to be my boyfriend.
Right. That is a body for seeing on my television. It is not a body for imagining.
Not for me.
This is where
not for
I
me.
have to confess that I feel more lustful feelings for Orange Cassidy's body than Chuck Taylor's, which is a little bit of a surprise to me. I think I have a soft spot for blonde men. I don't know.
I'm proud of you for saying it. I can certainly see how this ties in with your Christian. Anne and I had a real experience in our group this week where during the Christian segment where Kip was standing there with his big old arms eating a piece of straw, and then Dave yelled at him for it. I said, God, I'm so sorry, baby. I should have voted for you. Like I in that moment, I have to say, like, I've never felt more repentant in my life. I was like, I fucked up. Will Ospreay, I'm happy for you that you made it through, but like, I fucked up when I was looking at Kip Sabian's muscles and not thinking about like his beautiful, soft, big beef body. And then I saw it and I was like, I fucked up, baby. I'm so sorry. I should have voted for you. And Anne so happily was like, he's beautiful, right? And I realized that she thought I was talking about Christian.
I really should have known. I should have known it was Kip. It just didn't occur to me in that moment that anybody would be looking at Kip over Christian. So that was, a real moment of clarity for the two of us, I think.
I think that's kind of what the Best Bods tournament is all about. It's like we're just both sitting there like, who could look away from this man? Different men. Different men.
It's actually my best friend who's visited this weekend. Back in the day when we were roommates, we were watching Flight of the Conchords together, and each of us thought one Concorde was clearly much more attractive than the other one, but we disagreed about which was which I always feel like is just emblematic of how personal a man can be.
That's what our group chat did with
Santana and Ortiz.
Yeah,
that's right.
Early on when we were first learning people, we were like trying to figure out how to like tell the difference, and everyone was like, well, I don't even remember which one was which, but we were like, well, he's the hot one, and it was like, which one's the hot one? And I was like so confident. I was like, we all agree which one's the hot one. We did not agree.
I know, it was a real moment of like, well, what are you
split
thinking?
down the middle.
Well, what are you thinking? And it turned out the hot one was not a moniker that we could use in our group watches after that. Not
Did
clear.
have to discard that one, yeah.
Okay, well, Anne, I celebrate your truth. I'm glad that you've connected. So much. You've connected with yourself, and it does. Of course, it pains me to vote for either of these men over the other because they're perfect. They're perfect boys. They're my perfect special boys. But the body for me is going to be Dustin Chuck Taylor.
Yeah. So Chuck Taylor's going to advance. OC, thank you for your body.
Thank you for your body.
Thank you for your body.
Oh my God.
All right. Got Hangman versus Matt Jackson.
I'm gonna be
two
sick.
beautiful, beefy bodies.
They can't make you do this.
This isn't right. This isn't right. I'd rather die.
Our hater was right. We shouldn't be doing this.
Bodies aren't for ranking. Maybe they could be a tag team to go to the next round.
What hubris are we exerting by even comparing these men?
The universe will punish us. I didn't realize it before, but now I know the universe will punish us for what we have wrought.
Well, I have to say it's Hangman for me. Sorry to Matt Jackson. He is looking great, but...
But I think we just have to get out there with some of the stuff, that's going on. Hangman has that chest here.
Yeah.
That is huge for me personally, for the body of my of my choice. That is really huge. I feel bad even saying it because it's like, Matt Jackson, I'm not telling you to grow out your chest hair. You look perfect. You look the exact way you should. If you want to grow it out, you certainly should. But if you have any, I don't know what's going on there. Like, I don't know what the deal is.
Well, I mean, when his forearms tell me that he must have chest hair when he's not narrating.
Leah's made a study of it.
Oh,
you're right, Leah. Hey, Leah, you're right. That was a really good call. I was just covering my bases, but you're right. I think it's like just when when I'm forced to connect with, it's like the primal. Who has I had most of the primal feeling moment for, where I just think like, wow, I can't think about anything but, and it's like as a man, So does that,
Yeah.
That was
it's like
so coherent.
Unhappy about this, but
But then it's, it's like I'm looking at this and it's just like I can't help it. Like it's like, Hangman, like when he get in he just is so visceral.
It is so fucked up that this match is happening now.
I know.
Because
I know.
To be honest, Matt would win over Chuck. Matt would win over Swerve.
Yeah.
Matt would win over so many people. But I can't. It's Hangman, man.
It's just an undeniable. They're both undeniable bodies.
Yeah.
They're two of the absolute best bodies that we have. It's sick that
It's so sick. I'm so
sorry.
I really
so
feel like I'm letting him down.
You're not letting him down. I'm so sorry that he can't go to the semis corners.
I know. Sometimes
Whatever.
the draw just doesn't go your way, and that's why we're doing a Red Robin next year.
Yeah.
Next year. Hey, next year? These bitches better scatter, because you are about to knock them out like bowling pins, every single one of them. Except for Hangman. You're not going to knock him out.
You're not going to like that. But...
the thing is, you're not going to knock him out,
Oh, God.
Wow. All right. Well, congratulations to Hangman, but a really tough fight.
And an extremely genuine thank you
for your body.
Thank you for your body, Matt Jackson. Thank you.
This really is the most normal thing we've ever done, I think.
You know, you gotta be who you are.
Can't help it. And our final quarterfinal, Max Caster versus Jon Moxley.
I'm gonna like bleep that though. You know.
Can I bleep it so it's I want to bleep like a bleep, and so it'll be so much worse than what you actually said.
Yeah.
Perfect. Make it worse. I want it to be like that Dustin and JPW kiss segment. Dustin, the craziest thing you've ever said on camera.
So crazy.
We can't get into all that right now. God damn it.
I mean, these are two beautiful bodies. And Mox, again, the chest hair situation really helps. Do you think the chest hair ever, when they're wrestling, like, is uncomfortable?
I thought you were going to say, like, I really thought you were going into, like, a fantasy where it's like, does it ever sensually rub? Like, I was...
No, I was being kind of normal.
Down girl. You want to know if it ever chafes?
Or, like, you know, gets pulled and is uncomfortable.
Oh, okay. That is a sensual fantasy. Maybe. Could be.
I would love to see a wrestler grab a handful of Mox's chest hair and just tug.
Also, he looks way hairier in the left picture than the right picture. Do you think he does a little manscaping even though he's still got it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, maybe that he's just,
Off
you
the
know,
shoulders.
if you're balding, do you start losing it on your chest too?
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know how men's bodies
Fascinating.
work.
Hey, bald men, let us know about that.
Weigh in. I know I just said in the last one, I said, like, the hair is so vital. But there's just never been a day of the past 5 years when I haven't said, like, Max Caster, wowie, your body.
Yeah.
Wow, your fucking body. Wow, your perfect body. Who made it that way? Who made you that way?
I may have said this last week, but for me, Mox is an inconsistent.
Yes.
Like, lust
and I
object for
agree
me.
with that.
Where I'm like, some weeks I really, really am into him, and some weeks I'm like, I don't know, sir. But Max Caster, he's always bottom heavy.
Consistent. He's consistent when he brings it.
He has let me down in so many ways over the years, but never with his body.
Never with his body.
Never with his body.
Mm-hmm.
So true. Yeah.
So it is going to be Max Caster for me.
It is also going to be Max Caster for me.
And for me as well. Jon Moxley would also beat a lot of people in that Eastern or Western Conference, but not Max Caster.
You just can't, you know, it's like it's all winners.
Yeah.
All fucking winners. This
By
is
the time you're at the quarterfinals, it's just like,
Mox, God, that picture with the hand on the hip.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that we can't give you all medals. Thank you for your body.
Thank you for your body.
Yeah. Wow, what a week.
I love our cult.
Week, girls.
I love our Best Bods cult. Wow.
Okay.
So those semis are going to be, we're going to have Swerve versus Chuck Taylor. We're going to have Hangman versus Max Caster. So that's going to be a week.
I feel like I'm going to do, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be less of a struggle.
Little less stressful, yeah.
Yeah. Because I really didn't like that.
I know.
Some of the things I had to say tonight, I didn't like it.
I think Trish pointed out that there were a lot of friends going up against each other.
Yeah.
And that was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was rough. Mm-hmm. Friends should never fight. Friends' bodies should be friends.
So true.
Bleep that, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe bleep all of that. Amazing work, girls. Was there anything that you wanted to talk about tonight that we didn't get to talk about? Probably a lot of stuff because
Dude,
I don't know what we did for a lot of that.
It's almost 2 hours. We got to get out of here.
Time to go. On that note, I've been Allie.
I've been Ann.
And I've been Leah.
This is Tunnel Talk. Our theme is by Chris Corkin. You can find us on Twitter, Tumblr, and Twitch at tunneltalkpod@gmail.com. We also have merch now. You can find us at chop-tees.com. And you can get us. Did I just say you could get us an email? Yeah, probably. Probably. You can also find us on our feed, which may or may not have ads by now. You let us know. You can find us on the Social Suplex Network feed, where you can check out some of the other great podcasts on the network. And you can find us on the Social Suplex Network Discord, where Leah is bringing foot fetish links. Please rate, review, and subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. Stay frosty. And as always, please come back next week.
Your old or broken phone can let you down when you need it most.
Perfect.
But at Verizon, trade in any old phone from our top brands and get the most for it, up to $2,000 in value, for an amazing new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence and a new line on My Plan, and iPad and Apple Watch Series 10. That's like a 3-for-1. And you can get it on any plan. At Verizon, trade in your old phone for a brand new iPhone 16 Pro, iPad, and Apple Watch. The other guys won't give you that. Visit Verizon.com today. Additional terms apply. Service plan required for Apple Watch and iPad. Up to $2,000 value based on iPhone, iPad, and Apple Watch.
All you homeowners have unique needs. Some feel the need to leave up holiday decorations year-round. Others have the need to use their garage as practice space for their new metal band. And because each homeowner has unique needs, Geico helps you get the right coverage for your home and what's in it. That way, you get exactly what's right for you, even if your needs are unique. Get more with Geico.